like to invite now Milton Torres.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you all for being here with us this evening. It is a pleasure to be here at the Stanford Research Institute to talk about the dawn of the semiconductor industry in Brazil and to present the EBX group and SiC Semiconductors to you. I thank all that helped to put together this event, especially our friends from BayBrazil, in the person of Margariz. Thank you very much for a very nice event, a very nice organization. I also would like to thank our partners present here today, the Brazilian National Development Bank, here represented by Mr. Alan Fischler, the state of Minas Gerais, represented by Mr. Marco Antonio Cunha, IBM, represented by Mr. Edward Barth, who all came a long way from Brazil and from the East Coast to be here with us this evening to help to explain this tremendous project to you. My colleagues will describe our SiC Semiconductor partnership, the company, and the project itself in very detail to you. So let me focus my participation in putting into context this venture by answering two questions, which very likely are in your minds right now. Why in the hell is an energy mining and logistics conglomerate like EBX involved with semiconductors? Why to leave the famous and sacred engineering grounds of Silicon Valley to return and or go to work in Brazil? And I'll try to at least give you some food for thoughts to try to answer those two questions yourself. And hopefully we'll come to the conclusion that we would like.
How did he get there? He was one of 7. He learned the importance of sharing. With his mother, he cured his asthma with discipline, swimming in the cold water. With his father, he learned to think big. He moved to Switzerland, Germany, and Belgium. When he was 18, his family moved back to Brazil. He was left with his oldest brother and half the money. He started to sell insurance policies from door to door. When he was 23, he read in a Brazilian magazine about the gold rush in the Amazon region. So he went there. Two jewelers have lent him $500,000 to buy gold there. After 15 months, he traded $60 million and made a $6 million profit. $6 million, 23 years old. He should have gone to the beach, right? Wrong. Instead, he decided to build a crazy machine in the middle of the Amazon. His instinct helped him to find a rich mine among more than 100 mines. To produce gold in the middle of the jungle, you almost need a military operation to supply food, water, energy, fuel. You need to put into practice a holistic view. So he put 12 gold, silver, and iron ore mines into production from scratch. From 1980 until 2000, he went worldwide. $20 billion of wealth created for investors and $1 billion left for him. He learned very important lessons. How to identify megatrends, to find unique natural resource assets, to integrate projects, arbitrage inefficiencies, be self-sufficient. What we have always done, and are still doing, is large-scale, long-lasting, efficient, state-of-the-art, transformational, responsible. Since 2000, he decided to focus on Brazil and partner with global leading conglomerates to implement efficient and competitive businesses to build a new Brazil because he loves his country and his people. EBX Group, unique vision to identify multi-billion-dollar natural resource assets and implement transformational infrastructure. We will never stop building great cathedrals.
Okay, so what does that have to do with semiconductor? It's just a DNA issue. The bigger the challenge, the more our bosses likes it. If it resembles to anything like a Mission Impossible, then he cannot stay out of it. So jokes apart, this is of course not the only small, it's only a small part of our answer.
We are many, but also only one. Only one group. We have a wide, multiple vision. We are visionary by nature, and we turn projects into reality. We identify extraordinary opportunities at the present and in the future. We create and execute. We are passionate. We always undertake boldly and efficiently. This is our culture, our inspiration. We are a group of Brazilian origin and global dimension. We believe in people's potential and in the balance between technology and talent. We believe in the strength of structuring projects, in the transformation of the planet's resources into shared wealth. We are driven by the desire to build the future and leave legacies. Our actions are as large as the challenges of our time. We are aware of our responsibility, and we have the transparency of those who trust in their ability to execute. These are the principles that guide us. All of our achievements have a little bit of each one of us. We share the pride of being increasingly important for people, Brazil, and the world. This is our brand, our essence. Vision to execute and transform. We are EBX Group.
As a group, we have a vision and capacity to execute and transform. Because we have this genuine desire to help Brazil, and that all our major undertakings are transformation for our country. So from our thermal power plants in the northeast of Brazil, through the largest superport in Latin America and the third largest in the world, with 17 kilometers of quay and total area equivalent to 1.5 times the size of Manhattan Island. That is when we were called upon by our partners here presented and mentioned today to participate in the creation of sophisticated semiconductor design and manufacturing capabilities in Brazil, to help reduce an electronics trade deficit of more than $4 billion a year, and in addition, hopefully to have a good return on investment, we had and we said yes. But not before forming what we believe is our dream team of shareholders to minimize the risks and guarantee the success of the venture. They are, and I mentioned their names here before, the BNDES, the National Brazilian Development Bank, with financial support, the state of Minas Gerais, helping with local infrastructure, Matec bringing its expertise in construction of large industrial facilities, IBM delivering proven technology, and you saw here that they are leaders in patents in semiconductor, WS Intex adding specific know-how and expertise, and EBX bonding it all together with capacity to execute and manage large projects. So in addition to what I just said, we are always coming order down from the top, from Mr. Batista. We're always looking for state-of-the-art technology to apply to everything we do. Despite, I mean, as you saw, a lot of it is related to mine, energy, oil, whatever. There's quite a lot of technology, quite a lot of system, quite a lot of thinking and planning that we put in everything we do. And because of that, and we do quite a lot of different activities and different things. So if I may show to you, I mean, the main companies, those are not all the companies of the group, but those are basically the main companies in the group today. The top ones are listed companies, and the other ones in the bottom are to be listed. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about all of them. You can see, but what I'd like to highlight here that was already highlighted in one of the clips is the partnerships we have with top-notch corporations from all over the world, starting with Wuhan from China, SK from Korea. We had EDP, Eon, Hyundai, IBM. So we also look for the right partnership and the good partners to be with us in taking all this challenge. And then I just like to focus a little bit on 6, because that's when we then created 6 solutions. It's basically Soluções Inteligentes, in Portuguese, intelligent solutions in English, for industry to develop technology applied to industries that we're in. And we basically create 2 subsidiaries there today. There may be more in the future, but right now there are 2. One is 6 Technology, which is focused in developing industry solutions for the industries we're in: energy, oil, gas, logistics, and mine. Not only for us, not only for the group, but also for Brazil in general. As probably a lot of you know, I mean, labor in Brazil finally it's got to the comparable to the developed world in terms of cost, and that finally is bringing a lot of automation, a lot of new systems and technology into Brazil operations, because before it was always cheaper to do things with using labor than bringing technology in. Now the equation is inverted. So we believe there's a tremendous potential in everything that is related to technology and optimization of production systems and processes in Brazil. And then the second subsidiary is the one that it's the subject of tonight, which is 6 Semiconductors, which you will learn much more about it later on with the rest of the presentation of our colleagues. But it will have capability to develop customized ICs for, again, different applications, but also for applications in the group, and work in synergy with the 6 Technology for customizing ICs and development for things that we need, and that can be replicated and used in other companies and in other segments in Brazil. That is and will be a very powerful combination. Now, let me turn to the second question that I mentioned earlier. Why Brazil? Bluntly putting it from my side, I never thought I was going to live long enough to see Brazil finally waking up from its splendid cradle, as it says in the lyrics of our nation anthem, to become a flourishing economy, a market and economy power that the world has to reckon with. But it is happening, it is unfolding before our eyes. What a nice surprise it is, for me at least, to read daily news and see a whole bunch of very familiar headlines about financial crisis, but none of them about Brazil, related to financial crisis in Brazil. What a refreshing change. It used to be the other way around. So not that I wish to any country or region what we endured for 30 years or more. By the way, but I think it is about time that we pass this baton to someone else. And that is happening. Yes, we still have many challenges in front of us in Brazil, in particular in what relates to improving our education, public health care, and our infrastructure. But we are moving forward. We're tackling our problems, and the future looks bright, at least brighter than most places in the world nowadays. There are some external and internal macroeconomic factors that are giving and will continue to give a strong tailwind for us in the next 20 to 30 years. Internally, it's our demographics that is changing. After a long time, finally the Brazil pyramid, the population pyramid, is inverting. And for the next 30 years, we're going to have more active people than children and retirees to pay for. And that is creating, that combined with some social policies that have been implemented and the stabilization of the currency and the economy that happened with the last 3 governments, and 2 governments is continuing with this 3rd one. Finally, we are basically getting to a point that consumption is exploding in Brazil. And there is a potential to triple the amount of consumers and consumption in Brazil in the next 30 years. Now let me touch something here that may be a surprise, but the world talks about Brazil as a commodity economy. And everybody says if commodities are going well, Brazil is doing well. If commodities are not going well, Brazil will not do well. This is not the case any longer. Let me leave you with some data points. Our GDP today is approximately $2.5 trillion, and our exports are approximately $280 billion, a mere 11 to 12% of it. And out of that, 45% is commodity related, 55% is not. So the Brazilian economy, much like the US economy, is driven by consumption, 65 to 68% of the GDP. And with that explosion of consumption that the demographics is going to create, that's why I say the future looks very bright for Brazil. Externally, of course, the world still is feeling the consequence of the worst financial crisis since the Great Depression. The developed world, in particular Europe, still have a long way to go to come out of the recent financial debacle. And this increases our window of opportunity because of lack of comparable alternatives for foreign direct investment. So a lot of money is going and will continue to go into Brazil in direct investment, not speculation anymore. And that results in more money for us to fund our transformational projects and Brazil in general, not only us, the group. So I really believe it's the right time to go back to Brazil. I myself returned to Brazil after 25 years living abroad to work in a very complex but vibrant country and economy, working for a conglomerate whose dynamism is second to none in the world. Participate on things that matter, making a difference, and that is priceless. The rest we can use MasterCard, but that is it. I can only hope that some of you here today will come to the same conclusion I came almost 2 years ago and join us for this journey. Yes, it will not be without blood, sweat, and tears, but the tears will be of joy. Joy to participate and be successful in such a unique professional opportunity and life experience. Oh, by the way, better yet, we're going to get paid to participate in all that. So come on board and join us on this journey. You will not regret. In closing, I'd like to thank you very much for your kind attention and leave you with yet another short film, but this time I promise is the last one, and it's describing our very firm commitment to social and environmental responsibility in everything we do.
A group that is born in a place like this is born to love life. We are friends of nature. We respect small communities. We know what makes us humans. But we go beyond. We stimulate education. We promote dignity. Each day, mankind demands more. The iron that holds a bridge. Bridges connect families. The oil that moves machines. Machines will carry loved ones. The energy that lights an entire city. Light will lead us to better places. Assets that are not given, that are necessary to human development. But our job is to deliver this wealth, to be responsible, to be sustainable, to lower impacts, discover new and modern ways to obtain these assets. Our mission is to do more because we care more. We are EBX Group.